All right, good evening, everybody. James here, and this is the nightly recap for my small account challenge. We are on day 17 here, and we're doing okay, right? So I started today with $393, pretty much. I think there's a little bit of change above that. As you can see right now, I'm sitting about 363 as a net liquid. I took 2 trades today, and the first trade that I found was Waste Management. Now, I was watching Waste Management, very bullish chart here, consolidation, and I was going to play this off the 5-minute squeeze. I found it on the 5-minute, found it on the 15-minute, and at the time I was watching this for a run up, and it was kind of doing that here on these. It would run up, pull back to VWAP. So when it ran up here on the 5-minute candle, I waited for it to pull back to VWAP. When it did, I got in. And I took the October 18th 115 calls, paid $215 for it. And as you can see, I got in right here, right when it pulled back to VWAP. I'm looking at the 1-minute chart. Literally right when it filled, I watched it drop right down. And I had a bad feeling about this trade. Stuck it out. I waited to see if maybe it would just kind of pull back like it did the other times that it broke the VWAP. And unfortunately, it did not. So I was watching actually the 2-minute chart, and it just kept trailing down. And it looked like it was just going to keep falling. So I sold it here at 7:23 my time for a small loss, just under 9.5%. Looks like right around 9.3% for a $20 loss. And luckily I did, because it just never recovered. So in hindsight, if I had waited just one more minute, I probably would not have taken this trade. But unfortunately, that's the stock market, and nobody actually knows what's going to happen. So in and out, in at 215, out at 195 for gross $20 loss, 9.3%. So it happens. So then I started looking. This time I wanted to find more of a put play, especially the way the market was going this morning. Looking for something to maybe take advantage of the downfall here. As we know, puts tend to fall 3 times faster than calls going up. So I was scanning, and I actually found Pinterest. Let's see. Found it on the 5-minute chart, and it was in a squeeze. So I was waiting for it to pull back to the VWAP so that I can just enter it to the downside at the time. As you can see, Pinterest has been on a nice little downtrend. So when it pulled back to VWAP, I entered, and I messed up, right? I actually ended up taking 2 Pinterest trades, but I took Pinterest when it broke VWAP. That was my indicator to go ahead and take the puts, and that's what I did. I took puts. I took the October 4th 28 puts, right? I paid $1.60 for them, and it continued to drop. So that was fairly good. At the very bottom down here, I think I was up anywhere, I don't remember exactly, but it was anywhere between 8 and 12%. And I didn't get out, and the reason why was, it was puts. I expected it to fall a little bit further, so I held on to it. And as you can see, it kind of hit the bottom there at that time, bounced back up to VWAP, traded there for a little bit, and then broke and kept going. So, but on that note, I realized, right around, 7:30 my time, that I had entered Pinterest on my regular account. So I wasn't even in it in my small account after I alerted it to members. So I kind of felt, a little bad for that. That's not really fair that I'm not in the trade. Well, I am in the trade, but not in the trade on my small account. Right. So I watched it. I still like the chart to the downside. So I went ahead and I re-entered when it, pulled back a little bit here, back to VWAP, and broke VWAP. I went ahead and I entered exact same price, so I didn't have to re-alert to members. I paid $1.60 on the puts, October 4th, 28, and it did the same thing Waste Management did. As soon as I entered, it popped and just took off, as you can see here on the 5-minute chart, and that's where it kind of fired on the upside. So didn't work, but I wasn't really down too much, and I was still fairly confident in this being a positive trade to the downside. So I held out, and as you can see, it did come back down, tested VWAP here for pretty much most of the day, had a little spike, pulled immediately back. So I stayed in this. We closed right at the VWAP. I'm only down 5%. I think it's like $8 here. Yeah, so I'm confident in this one. I'm actually holding both positions still, and I'm going to trade them obviously into tomorrow and hope that we get a further drop in Pinterest for another day here. Okay, so that's where we're at. I got about $210 to trade with tomorrow. That'll give us about one play, so we'll make it a good one. We got a little rocky start here, but I'm confident that this is going to work out. It's just going to take a little bit extra time, right? So here we go, going into tomorrow, and we'll be good to go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.